Great. How y'all doing? Good.
Marcus, how much did it help you to make the transition, being here and being familiar with everything in this new position?
Well, obviously, being here for 7 years, so, I didn't have to pick up my family and move. And then I also I know the players. I'm familiar with Jerod and the coaching style, that he's been used to and what he's wanted to instill. And then for the rest of the defensive staff, the guys who continue to stay on staff, we've been working together for, I would say, 7 years too. So it's really, a blessing to be here, to stay here, and work with the guys, and then the players and the defense that we already have, and then the players that's going to join our team.
What were some of the reactions from the players that you kind of worked with when they heard about you getting this role as coach?
Excited, want to work with them, and then, being able to, get ready for the spring, that type of stuff. Excited for me and the opportunity that I have, and then also for the guys who are returning, excited to make sure that we, get back on track to where we need to be as a football team. So, and then at the same time, just being able to step up into this role to have more of a leadership on the defense, they were excited about the opportunity for me.
How would you describe your defensive philosophy?
So I would say the defense, wouldn't change as much, but when you turn on the tape, I think what we want to see is a physical team, a team that plays with good discipline and fundamentals, and a team that attacks the football and takes it away from the opponent. That's what we're trying to look for with our defense, and a team that goes out there and play together for one another. That type of togetherness. That's what we're really looking for.
How much of that is rooted in your relationship with Jerod, and how much of that is influenced by your own previous experience?
I think it's a mix of both. There's a good foundation of players that's laid the foundation of this defense even before I got here. So, and then we're adding. So the foundation, that's what starts with everything. If the foundation is built, solid, you could continue to add on top of it and it won't fall. So that foundation was set before me. And then we just continue to add on to that foundation, which our players continue to add on to that foundation. And then the coaches that we're bringing in and the coaches that we have just continue to build on that.
DeMarcus, what are your change in order to advance the defense, as you're speaking about?
Yeah, I would say, you use the word change. I would say every year is a new year. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, what's going to, the cards that we're dealt. But we need to be ready for everything. We need to try to be good at everything, and we just need to try to go out there and eliminate points and do the things that I said that we want to be as a defense. I think if we play to that type of standard, and when we look at the tape, I think we'll turn out and we'll be happy with the product that we put out on the field.
Some of the coaches who were saying how important was it to retain guys like Mike and Brian to kind of.
It's good. I mean, they're familiar with the players. Our players are familiar with them. They're familiar with our philosophy on what we want to do, and then they've also worked with me and know what I want to do. And then also the foundation, they have been here too. We all came in pretty much together. And so I think when you look at those things and you look at how the players and the coaches combine and how we get the best out of our players, that's what's important to me. Who can do that, who can coach their players good, who can get their players to go out there and play at a high level and execute, to the standard that we want to have.
DeMarcus, who are your coaching mentors, and do you have any from outside the building as well?
Yeah, so, I have a lot of people that helped me along the way. I started from, the ground up, it was just as a student assistant when I got done playing. So just people who've just opened up the door, like Coach Sullivan, who gave me the opportunity to coach, and then guys like who gave me an opportunity, who Garrett McGee, to be a GA at UAB, and then guys that I learned up under like Kevin Peoples, who took me in on the defensive side of the ball and taught me a good amount of things. Those people laid the foundation, and then worked my way up. Even to I can every stop along the way to Jason Simpson, where I'm like at UT Martin. Making whatever in West Tennessee, but having my own room, but giving me that opportunity. And then you look at Coach Belichick too, who, give me an opportunity to come in the league. give me that shot. You know, a guy from Alabama who's worked his way up through, you know, college, you know, GA and then 1AA ball, and then coming here and getting the opportunity, and I'm sitting in here, you know, today before you guys.
Do you plan on calling plays this year? And if so, how do you prepare for that responsibility?
Yeah, I do plan on calling plays, and I would say you get those practice reps, obviously, on the practice field and in the classroom for me. So, you know, gaining those reps, going through different games, going through situations in the meeting room with the other coaches. And then also putting myself in those situations on the practice field. That's how we do, just like the players are out there preparing to play and they're going through reps. I should be doing the same thing as a play caller, doing those reps. And it just doesn't happen overnight. This is something where, you know, I've been preparing. This is something I wanted to do. So you already kind of take the necessary steps to prepare yourself for when you get the opportunity to be ready.
Marcus, can you talk?
I was actually going to ask what Phil was going to ask, but to ask a different question. What did you see from Dr. Hightower as a player that was
Well, you talk about the foundation. Somebody asks about, you know, about the defense. You talk about the foundation of, you know, our defense, and a guy who has done so much on the field as a player and will literally play any position across the front and know every position across the front, and his leadership and his communication skill and what he did, you know, not only just, you know, on the field, but in the classroom as a leader, you know, it's going to bring value to our team. So you see guys like that all across the league that become, you know, former players that played at a high level, that's a leader in the classroom or a leader, you know, out there with the players. And we're hoping that same thing transition, similar to Jerod, you know, hopefully that, you know, transition for us as a linebacker coach.
Marcus, how much were you involved in the hiring of the other coaches?
I was involved. Marcus, the day you got hired, how did you find out, and what happened next?
A phone call. What happened next? I was actually off. Me and my wife went to lunch, had lunch, and then we continued on about our day. You know, so that's how I found out. Phone call told me about it, and then, you know, we were or technically not in the office, and, you know, it was just a typical day, but definitely one, you know, to be excited about and super grateful for.
What excites you about it most? You know, you've been there a while, what you guys were able to do last year, and anything else, what excites you most about this opportunity?
There's only 32 defensive coordinators, you know, in the world. There's only 32, so I don't take that lightly. And I think anybody in this position, you know, whether it's a head coach or a position coach, even when I was a position coach, it's only so many defensive line coaches in the National Football League. There's so many people that are dying to get our jobs, or should I say, are wanting to get our jobs. I don't take that for granted. And I know where I started, and then know where I'm at now, and then we'll know what we want to be and what I want to do. So I think when you get put in these positions, you can't help but be grateful and thankful and understand. For me, I know what the Lord has done for me.
Did you have much interaction with Jerod in the past, and what does he bring to the staff?
To me, first of all, we had a joint practice with him in Green Bay, but really, I look at how the players play for him, and I look at his product on tape. You know, I look at how you know, in Green Bay, their front, when you turn on the tape, it's the style of ball that I want to play, the style of ball that I look for in a defensive line coach, and then how I would coach it too. So when you look at that, that is what really drew me to him. And you can see there's a consistent product that's put out on tape. All right, we can say all we want to say in the classroom, but with them going out there and performing and playing, and those players going out there and doing exactly what he wanted to do on a consistent basis, and he was there in Green Bay for 8 or 9 years, that speaks volume.
You talked about not wanting to take this job for granted. That being said, was there ever any concern or worry that you wouldn't become the DC if or when maybe Jerod became the head coach?
To me, I don't worry. All right, I don't worry. So when I look at things, I always think about, like, I think about if I spend too much time worrying or sitting back, then I can't do whatever I need to do. I leave that up to the Lord and then go from there and do whatever I need to do. And I know that, if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not for me, all right, then it will happen later on. So I think that when you think about like timing, it's really not my timing. Whenever the time supposed to happen, that's when it's supposed to happen. So if it wasn't this year, hopefully it would have been, another year. So I really don't look at it like that because, to be honest, there's jobs that I wanted when I was coaching 1AA that said no, but I got this opportunity. So to me, you thank God for the no's and then you move forward.
How would you describe your teaching and coaching style, and do you expect there to be any adjustments you have to make now that you're in a new role?
No, I think as a leader, I think you be the same every day, so there is no change. So if you're the same person every day and you're consistent every day and you have a certain standard every day, you don't have to change who you are, all right, because you're showing who you are on a day-to-day basis and they're getting the same consistent you or the same consistent version of yourself. So me, I'm a guy that's gonna, I think about attacking the mind, body, and the soul of a player and trying to get the best out of them. If I can get all three of those, and I challenge our coaches to do that too. If they're able to get that, I think that make a great coach. Whether if you can get only a couple of those are only good coaches. So we're striving to be great coaches. We're trying to attack all three of those. And really that's what we're looking for, and that's what I'm going to preach, and that's what we're going to get the staff to do. And I think if you do that, the players also buy into that, and you're making them better football players and you're making them better men.
Yep.